A question I often get is, why don't affirmations always work? Well, I'm going to start with why they do work. They do work because we are all connected in divine mind, universal spirit, whatever you want to call it. Rupert Sheldrake, a researcher in England, called it the morphogenic field, a much more scientific sounding name, but it means the same thing. We're all connected. Now, you may be able to relate to this example. You think about someone you haven't seen or heard from in a while, wonder how they're doing, and suddenly the person calls you out of the blue, shows up at the grocery store unexpectedly, or even unexpectedly on a Zoom call with a group, which happened to me. That's an easy example of how you're sending out an affirmation. It is an affirmation, that thought, and it comes back to you with no resistance. So, why don't affirmations always work? Because sometimes we actually have some resistance inside. It may be that you actually don't feel deserving of what you're affirming for. It might be that there's some inner conflict, like if I have this better job, I'm going to have to work more, see my family less. And so that will block it from happening. There could be many other reasons why internally you have some resistance to something actually happening. And so when you're doing your affirmations, you want to also be clear about, is there any internal resistance or internal conflict that I have? And try to clear that before you do the affirmation personally. Okay. And here's an example of affirmations and just being trusting and waiting. When I was an administrator and really wanted to be teaching the classes that I was organizing, I started affirming that I had a wonderful job teaching with making the same or better even salary than I was getting at the time. It was close to home and a few other things that I put in there, working with wonderful other people. And as it turned out, I was offered a job teaching at the California State University, Fullerton. Completely unexpected, nothing I had ever thought was going to happen. So that's another part of it. You don't want to be outlining how something is going to happen. You put out your affirmation and just allow it. I had a really wonderful example the other day, too. A friend of mine was talking to me and saying that her 24-year-old daughter was feeling really, impatient about attracting the perfect relationship. She had done affirmations before and they had worked. So why wasn't this one working? And immediately I knew what the issue was. She was anxious, not trusting. It took me quite a number of years before Rick and I got together because we were both getting ready for each other. We both had things to work through and ways to develop personally. And then when we did come together, it worked amazingly. So I'm going to suggest that you be patient with your affirmations, trust that they're working at exactly the right time, and just really consider how you're feeling inside when you're doing them. Do you feel really clear? Do you feel really trusting? Or do you feel really allowing of them happening at the right time? If you'd actually like a free 30-minute session with me, you can sign up at calendly.com/HYL training, and I'd be happy to talk with you to help you get even more powerful affirmations or even get started with them. Have a wonderful day.